Hello, class. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good day. Today we're going to start another class and we're going to be talking about a very important topic called exploring data collection methods. My name is James. As usual, my name is James Olaniyan. I am a project manager, community liaison, and the Laboratory of Data Science at Purdue University for we. And today we're going to be talking about exploring data collection methods. So let's dive into the three methods we're going to be talking about today. We're talking about surveys, talking about experiments, and observational studies. Surveys, experiments, and observational studies. The first one, which is survey. Survey just has to do with you asking questions to learn more when you're asking questions to learn more. So what are surveys? They are just like questionnaires. So when we say questionnaires, things that ask you questions so that they can get information from you. So we ask people questions to gather information about their opinions, their behaviors, and their characteristics. And surveys can be conducted either online, it could be on paper, or it could even be through an interview. And let's not forget that survey is a very good design or is a key for accurate and substantial results. So we'll just dive into the next thing. Now, what are the implications, I mean, of every survey? Implications in the sense that are they good surveys or bad surveys? Now, so surveys are flexible and can collect data from a wide range of people. It could be, I mean, it could be a teenager, it could be an adult, it could be a male, a female, all kinds of people. But the main thing is that in every survey, we have to watch out for something, response bias. Sometimes people don't tell the whole truth. People just tell you what they want to tell you. They don't absolutely tell you the truth. So we have to watch out for that. Whether the implications, the good and the bad, and the fact that we need to make sure that our survey samples represent the entire population we're studying. So you must have a base number of people, the scale. You must have a kind of people you want to participate. You want that wants to be that you want to participate in the survey. It could be a certain class of students, or it could be a class of citizens, or it could be a set of culture or whichever way, but just make sure that you have someone representing the whole entirety population of what you're studying, and making sure that you're designing a fair and clear questions is very very important. When you're designing a question, it has to be clear and something that people can understand, and you have to make sure it is fair. Those are one of the good implications of having a good survey. Let's talk about the next aspect, which is called experiments. Experiment just has to do with testing cause and effect. What's an experiment? It's like a project science. It's like you're testing something, you want to see what's causing it and what is the result. So the cause of something and what is the result, what is the effect. So we change something, an independent variable, to see how it affects something else, the dependent variable. So there's something that cannot change, but there's something that changed. So we change something and see what the result comes out. We change again to see what the outcome is. We change again to see what the outcome is. So that's just what experimenting means. So experiment helps us to figure out cause and effect relationship. And don't forget that is also a key. Remember, control is key in experiment. Control is very, very key in experiment. Um, the next thing to talk about is the power and the pitfalls. What are the things that we experience when we're having any form of experiment? Experiment gives us a high level of control, which helps us find out what really causes things to happen. But they can be time consuming and costly. You know, Ethical considerations are a must when dealing with human subjects. And also that sometimes when what happens in the lab doesn't really reflect what is happening in the real life. So we have to be ready for that. So whenever we go, I mean, we're experimenting something, we can't just conclude and say, based on this result, this is actually how things go. Sometimes the result you get in the lab is not absolutely the same thing you're getting, you know, in the world out there. So you have to be able to merge all the form of information you get. That's why it's necessary to try out different methods of collecting information or data. Now let's go to the last one we're talking about today, the third one, which is called observational studies, which you can has to do with observation, which means watching and learning. So you watch and learn. So what are observational studies? They are like being a detective. So you're observing something. It could be you're not very active. People don't really know what's happening, but you're actually tracking something and you're observing, you're studying something. We watch and record what's happening without interfering. Observational studies are great for studying natural behaviors. You know, they use it in health system. I mean, in the hospitals to study people. I mean, you're watching. If you're a doctor, you're making some diagnostics to your patients. You need to observe how they feel. You know, see the way they talk, touch them, listen to them. Observing those things will help you to have a full understanding of what exactly is wrong with them. But just remember that what you might see will always tell might not always tell you the whole story. You know, so you just have to you don't absolutely take everything you've heard, but you just have to have an idea that okay, this can help me to lead to the right solution I'm looking for. So let's go talk more about observational studies. Seeing isn't always believing. Don't let's forget that seeing isn't always believing. Observational studies helps us understand real world behaviors. They are susceptible to bias, which means they may not 100% be right all the time. The way we observe can influence what we see. We have to be careful about drawing conclusions without considering all the factors. You know, choosing the right variables to observe is very crucial. So when you're making observations, what you're seeing, you need like two or three other people to see exactly what you're seeing. So when you're doing any form of observational studies, it's necessary to involve more than two or three parties so that once you are seeing another person can see from another perspectives, it just makes you have a very holistic view of things. So in summary, to just put things together, we can see that some surveys, experiments, and observational studies are all valuable ways to collect data. Each method has its strengths and weaknesses. By understanding this method, we can be able to get all the information we need to make a very uh, uh, a very holistic decision, a well-informed decision. Now, I hope you've learned one or two things from today's class. I have an activity for us, and I would love us to listen attentively. So I have a challenge. All I need you to do is very simple. All you need to do, put yourself in a group. You can have a group of two or three or four. You know, come up with a research question you want to explore. Then what you need to do is decide which data collection method you want to follow. Is it survey? Is it experiment? Um, um, is it observational study, or whichever way you want to choose? Just observational study or survey. Just choose anyone. And what's the best? I mean, which of them will best answer your question? You know, present your findings to the class and explain why you chose that method. I hope you've learned one or two things about how to methods of collecting data, and I'm sure you had a good time. So now to question, if you have any question or anything, you could reach out or just let me know. If anybody has any question, you can reach out to Laboratory of Data Science, um, Purdue Folkley. And don't let's forget that this work was supported by the Laboratory of Data Science and the Indiana Data Mine grant and supervised by Professor Alessandro Maria Selvitella at Purdue University for Wayne. I hope you've had a good time together. Thank you, everyone, and I'll thank you for joining our session on today's data collection method. See you next class. Bye.